everybody says you're left or you're right. Or maybe you're somewhere in between. Or maybe you're a crazy and you're further out left than the left or further out right than the right. But if you notice, the expression is all on one line, and it's defined by these two notional points.
Welcome to PodcastTea. This is a very special episode to us. This is the first episode we have a guest. We have a very important guest here, and his name is George Paik. Did I say that right?
I say Paik. There's a story to
Paik.
that, yes.
Okay, so George Paik, he is a previous U.S. diplomat, investment banker for 20 plus years, head of the loan capital markets of Mellon Bank, and he likes to be known as student of social theory and American patriot.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, indeed.
All right, George. So today, I think we just kind of going to be talking about, first, me and Shally, we love politics. That's something we enjoy a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But as much as that, I think it has so much to do with our background, but at the same time, it's us coming here and seeing what really it is about and learning more about it. So today's topic, I'm gonna start with, of course, I'm gonna let you a little bit talk about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll ask you a few questions here. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. As you said, I've interrupted actually 20 odd years as an investment banker with 7 years as a U.S. diplomat.
Mm-hmm.
And people always ask me, where did I serve? But what I say is when I served was more interesting because the Soviet Union fell right in the middle of my 7 years in the Foreign Service as a diplomat. And I maintain that you could tell the before and after difference in the way we went about things. And that set me to thinking, as I've always thought about things about the American nation, but that set me to thinking, why are we doing this differently? What's missing? What's different? And that leads to the kind of discussion that we want to have today.
Yes, which we want to start with. What is the American nation?
Yes.
It's a very deep question, right? But we just kind of want
an
answer for it.
No, it is a wide question. We know that because it has a lot of history and a lot of hiccups in the middle and a lot of conflict even in the ideas of what people think the American history looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can just, shorten it up in an idea for our young generation to understand it well, that'll be great.
Sure. And I don't want to slight all the different things that happen and all the different feelings people have. But the thing that's so important to me is to remember that the nation was founded. It conceived itself in the Declaration of Independence. And when I say that, I mean, lots of nations say, well, if we could just get rid of X country that's ruling us that shouldn't be, or if we could just, unite the three different parts that make up our nation,
Right.
then we'd be free. There was no such nation in America until the Continental Congress. There were a bunch of British colonies.
Okay.
Sometimes they competed with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And in fact, Benjamin Franklin tried to get them to coordinate before the 7 Years' War, something called the Albany Plan, and they wouldn't. They couldn't.
Okay.
So there was no expression of a single thing, a single entity on this continent until the Continental Congress that ultimately wrote the Declaration of Independence.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a background that says there's no proto-nation beforehand.
Right.
Now, in the Declaration, we said it's very short. Most of the Declaration is just a list of complaints about what the British did.
You mentioned you've read it.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's not that long, but when you actually read it, almost all of it is they did this, they did that, they did the other thing. That's why we want to be free. But you forget that at the very beginning it says, when one people is separating itself from another people, that says something. That says right there, this is now a people.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever else they were before, we, these representatives of these colonies that used to bicker and compete and ignore each other and whatever, we are now one people saying we're separating from another.
So you're saying just by writing this on a paper, that's when the nation
That's the
came
first
together,
expression of
right?
the nation. And then they said, we hold these truths to be self-evident.
Mm.
Now, if you really look, they just said there's one people. And they said, we hold these truths. And nowhere else do they say who we are.
Okay.
Okay. And then what they say is, what are these truths that we hold? One, all persons, I'll paraphrase it directly because the language is a little archaic, but all
Right.
persons are equally endowed with certain rights that are unalienable. It means you can't give them away if you wanted to.
Nice.
And those include life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
And to secure those rights, governments are created, which is to say, governments exist for the sake of the rights of all these people.
Mhm.
Wow.
If you think about it, before then, every government was a king or a hereditary ruler or a clan head. And rights were things that they say, oh, now you have the right to graze 3 cows in the pasture. They were privileges given by the ruler. And here they said, no, governments secure the rights for the people. The people's rights comes first. And that's the only expression of what the nation has been. That's not to say that that it does matter who has been given access to these rights by the current society, who didn't. Why did we do this? Why did we do all those things are part of the history and part of who we are. But there's no other expression that says that's what America is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, wow, that was a very kind of a deeper kind of way to think about it. But in today's world, whenever you look at the TV and it's like the American nation, and as a U.S. citizen right now, it's like, am I entitled to be part of that American nation because I'm a U.S. citizen, but sometimes between the lines, I feel like I'm not, right? In a sense, but yet I am. I have the right to vote. I have the right to practice my rights, my privileges,
Absolutely.
right? Which I think it is. So whenever you were talking about it and how it came to be, that was kind of history. But I feel like a lot of the people through the time, it kind of just keeps taking different shapes. Right?
The expression is very abstract.
Mm-hmm.
An abstract thing is funny because to live, you have to put, if you will, living meat on the abstract bones of the principle. Otherwise, it's just something floating around in the air. At the same time, living meat, might take any number of forms, but when you have a principle guiding it, a principle underlying it, a principle that you believe, then it has a certain meaning that it didn't have before.
Right.
So one game I play is if you were to take that sentence out of the Declaration of Independence, we're separating, you did all these terrible things to us, Britain, so now we're independent. I actually put a mind game in some of my writing. You could actually have the revolution more probably proceed about the way it did. And then you would have a bunch of colonies that now call themselves a separate country at the end of the revolution. You would not have this expression of unalienable rights in government that serves to secure them. What would America then look like without that? I think it would be very different. All these rights would have to be established by politics. Politics would involve all the nitty-gritty. And one indication of how difficult it would have been, if you look at the American Civil War, there were ideologues in the South who said, some of our people may have signed that language, but that was a mistake. And John Calhoun, who was the leading ideologue of the Confederate States of America, said, no, what we really are is a union of states, and all the states have to agree on anything. So therefore, the North can't say no slavery unless all the states agree.
Okay.
And therefore, we have the right to secede if not. And what Lincoln very specifically focused on was to make sure that this nation, as he said at Gettysburg, so dedicated and so conceived to rights and equality, this nation must endure. And that was the whole point of everything he said. The Gettysburg Address does not use the word slavery, but it does say at the end, government of the people, by the people, for the people. And he does reinforce the fact that we said all men are created equal. So that's an illustration of why it makes a difference that we had that sentence. If he didn't have that sentence in the Declaration to refer to, it would have been a pure, if you will, spoils of war question. Well, we won, so we get to make the new rules. there is an underlying principle. And I would say that even people who do things that violate its spirit, in the conditions that they're at, most of them, if you look, they're trying to say, well, I do mean that, but some part of it doesn't work today for some reason. And that's where I get to the question of development.
Right.
Okay. In 1776, lots of places practiced slavery. A lot of actually almost every colony allowed it in 1776. And some people really used it. And then as things developed, as people got more secure, as economies developed in other ways, then only those parts that still needed slaves for their well-being stayed with it. And that, of course, comes with all kinds of prejudice and discrimination. It took a very large trauma to undo it.
What was the last like state or part from the USA that was done with the slavery? Like the last part of it?
Oh, it was at the end of the Civil War with the 13th Amendment. There was the 13th Amendment made, I forget the exact language, but there is no such thing as slavery as of the passage of the 13th Amendment. If you watch the movie, what was it called? About the end of the Civil War with Lincoln. Was it The Team of Teams, or was it about Lincoln with Daniel Day-Lewis?
I think it was about Lincoln.
Yeah, but it gives the exact politics during the Civil War in the North of passing the 13th Amendment, outlawing slavery. And saying now the Constitution is the legal document that carries the spirit of the Declaration, carries a lot of other things too, like any legal document does, but they made it a part of the foundational language of the Constitution now that said no more slavery.
Gotcha.
Okay, so, and in practice, of course, we have just in the last few years learned to understand Juneteenth,
right,
which was the last, I think, notice given to the last slave populations that you are no longer slaves.
And that's why it came to be a holiday.
Now I know what does this celebration exactly about. No one ever like explained it to us.
Right.
So like now you're saying, and now I understand why people celebrate it.
And it should be celebrated.
And I'll
really
celebrate it more now, because usually like when we come as foreigners and we hold the nationality of this country, we like to be part of it and understand all of it, but unfortunately they fail to do that when it comes to the test of like your history and knowledge about the country. And instead it's like a really like redundant questions that you can just memorize and go test. I wish if they can upgrade it so we can learn more about the history of the country. So that's one of the stuff that I don't know exactly the reasons they celebrate it. I knew it's about slavery, but I didn't know the history behind it or the story behind it.
Well, that one's very new, so you're up to date with everybody else.
Good.
On what Juneteenth is.
Yeah, because even like where I currently work, it just got introduced as a holiday 2 years ago.
Yes.
Not behind.
There.
Not behind.
Yeah. No. It was not even there.
But see, like, did they explain? Did they make like a whole stuff about it? For me,
where I work at, they did a very good job explaining.
Yeah.
It was a whole campaign started. It was a lot of it was in the newsletter, like in the emails, and there was But to like now I see, like I knew it was a celebration, but now I like how it came to be throughout the history as you were talking.
Well, and I like to talk in a way that refers back to the Declaration. So when I say Juneteenth is the day that the actual slaves, I think the last ones, were told in practice, you are not slaves. How else would they have known? There wasn't an internet back then.
Of course.
Okay. That was following on the 13th Amendment, which was passed by by constitutional processes during the Civil War. And that amendment brought our practice into line with the spirit of the Declaration of Independence, which defined the nation, which Lincoln oriented the war to preserve. So I always like to try to take it back to the Declaration, because I think there's an awful lot of discussion that people have where they assume things about the Declaration, but they don't think about it. And then that's how you get diverted from what it is into other things, in my opinion.
So from that whole declaration and whatever was written in it and the whole foundation that was built for this nation, right? How far we are from all of what was really built to be in the Declaration, comparing to like when they write it down to Like,
Are we living it?
Yeah, basically. Are we like, how far as a percentage? Do you think we still have like 20% only, or are we still like using it 100%?
That's a funny one. It gets almost into philosophy here.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. An abstract concept you will never fully realize, right? It's like the idea of infinity. You'll never get there. On the other hand, any ideal that you want to live by, the question is, do you keep making progress?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there are many different opinions on whether you're making fast enough progress or too slow, or if too many people really don't care. And that's the kind of thing that we have to contend with.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's why I get into the question of development, because what most people, when they say development, again, we referred to this. My favorite book is about this is by an economist / philosopher named Amartya Sen. And the book that I quote is titled Freedom as Development, or maybe it's Development as Freedom. Sorry, I don't have that right off the top.
Freedom as Development.
Okay, Freedom as Development. And what he says at the very outset is, you have development, people talk about GDP per capita and how many roads and industrial output. He said, all those things are just indicators. The point of it is that when people develop, they develop the capacity for people to live as they choose. And if you think about it, if everybody is just scratching the dirt and praying for rain, they don't have a lot of room to choose what they want to do with themselves.
Yep, of course.
Industry brings all kinds of dislocation, made all kinds of people miserable in many ways, but then it gave a large population of people a cash income that they could then choose among the other things that are being offered that industry produces. So there's a degree of freedom. Sen talks about a story. He's from India, and during the riots in the late 1940s, he says when he was a child, a man came into their yard all beaten up, and they eventually drove him to the hospital and died. He was a Muslim laborer. Everybody knew there were riots going on that day. Why did he have to be out in the street?
Yeah.
He couldn't afford not to go to work. So if there were more prosperity and he were richer, he would have been able to stay home and not get beaten up. So there's an unfreedom that he calls it.
Okay.
And if there were more development, then maybe he would have been able to stay home. So, which is to say, all these things happen over time and in many ways, and by all kinds of messy political processes. The Civil War itself was a step of development, which tied to other kinds of development that came to a particular identifiable point where we were then able to take a very big, yes, very delayed step in realizing part of our tenets of our declaration. There are others that are still ongoing that and woefully behind. Are we still progressing?
That's a
is
question.
Somebody and how do you define progress? Because one person will say, well, we still have racial discrimination, so we're not in compliance. Somebody else will say, well, but if you correct that racial discrimination, then you're making somebody else lose their ability to do something. So that kind of argument will always go on. What you have to remember is that it is a developmental process. And the most important thing to me, especially now, is that people realize that we have this same abstract concept that we're all interpreting differently, but it's the same concept. And we need to remember that that's the core of what the nation is. Otherwise, if we don't have it, then there's no reason for us even to talk to each other.
True.
That's a good point. So, that was your answer to,
I hope it's intelligible.
what is the American nation? It kind of, you just took us back into the fundamentals and you kind of answered it there. The other question that we want to kind of just address, do humans have true free will?
And the reason I raise it is that we believe it's a self-evident truth that everybody has rights. Well, what is the point of rights if people don't have
Freedom.
free will. If
Right.
even if there's laws oppressing you and all that, if you can say, I want this, and even if it's an illusion,
Mm-hmm.
but if you say, I want this, doesn't that matter? And that's part of the question of whether or not free will exists, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does it, is it an illusion? Does it matter? There has been research that shows how, your brain does things before you decide to do it. And then there's other research that says, well, it's not quite clear cut. And
There's always debates about everything. Huh?
right.
See,
right.
but like where we're from, our people always view the USA. It's like you're gonna have the true free will in this country, and it's that's how it's kind of viewed. And then you come here, and then you realize, for me, it was kind of more like
Get into the system.
not just that. It's you have so many options. You can be lost
Yes.
to a point, and I think you even forget the idea of the free will because you have a lot of things, a lot of options, a lot of opportunities, and I think that kind of just opens up everything. And then you realize the idea we had when we were there, it's very limited. But then you come here and it's kind of like,
and what do you do with 6 brands of tea?
yeah,
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 choose from? Yes.
exactly. So there's just so many options.
The question that always comes up is, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? What's the point of it? And so much of daily life, of course, I mean, we all have bodies that have to be fed, jobs that have to be worked and all that. And it never goes away. I mean, free will is not, I can decide that I'm a cloud that's going to, float away. It means that you have impulses that no one else has the right to suppress.
Okay.
Except for if there's a matter of other people's rights being violated as well, then that's what government is. And that is one point about our country. When you say everybody has rights and you say government exists to secure those rights, then you have to have what's called a social contract, right? I may be as free as I want, but if nobody cooperates or respects each other's rights, then nobody will have any rights. That's the old state of nature argument. So implied in our creed is this idea that we have a mutual interest in each other having rights, and that's a social contract. And that's what our government's supposed to be based on. That's why we had all these elaborate processes for adopting and then for amending and for implementing the Constitution. So that takes you from the abstract principle into that question of government. But if you look at it, at the bottom of it, it's because we believe in rights. And if we believe in rights, then the only reason for rights is that you have something that should be exercised without other people's constraint. Exactly. Yes. Right. So now can you prove it? No.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite biologists, Edward E.O. Wilson, he writes, you will never be able to prove it by external. It's like looking at an electron. If you look at it, you've changed what it is because it's inside you. So if it's an article of faith that there is free will, it's not an unreasonable article of faith to have, I think, if you accept Wilson's view. And it'll be a long time before anybody disproves it. So we might as well keep doing it. We might as well keep living as though we really do believe in this declaration.
So, in your opinion, with all what was built from the Constitution, going through the Civil War, to what is the USA currently, with all the politics and a couple presidents or whatever politics like roots come and decisions come to take this experience and send it to other countries around the world to, hey, check our freedom, you need this, use whatever we experience and apply it there to have the freedom and to have the democracy and all that. Do you think all the nations around the world, or there's a lot of nations that can do what happened here in America in a really smooth way, or it's going to be a problematic, just like when they try to do it in Iraq, when they try to do it like in Afghanistan?
There's a number of things that have to be said to answer that. It's very complex. As I said, our concept of rights and government to secure rights is an abstract. And abstracts have to live in the circumstances where people are, right? And so the question is, how much can you take living conditions and, if you want, move them in the direction of that abstract principle?
Mm-hmm.
We have adopted that, and I think unconsciously we still believe it. So that's, if you notice, everybody who argues with each other, they're claiming somebody's rights.
Yeah.
Okay. So we keep that in our own dialogue as an unconscious thing that we all believe and share and have that article of faith, even though most of us don't fully say it or realize it in our minds.
Mm-hmm.
Other nation, well, no, there's a faith, an article of faith there that every person wants to be able to get to that place. There is also a fact that not everybody has the circumstances to live as they choose.
Sure.
And in fact, a lot of the circumstances that they live with are satisfactory at that point because that's what you can get. I mean,
It works.
it works. The environment, means that you have to have certain things that maybe in another environment you don't need. And so development is a matter of how these circumstances change and how much people will then be able to live as they choose. And yes, we have that desire to live as you choose as an article of faith in us.
Mm-hmm.
How that goes to other countries and other cultures is as complex as all the different other countries and other cultures and stages of development. And I don't mean to put that in a way that development people say, what are the circumstances that people live in? That matters a lot. That matters so much. Right now, if you look at the world, there are maybe 20 or 30 countries where everybody knows they can go to the grocery store tomorrow and get what they need for food. And almost everybody knows that they can go there and buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, a lot of those countries are the ones where they have regular elections, where people accept the result, where laws are determined by relatively impartial people,
Mm-hmm.
and there's that kind of order, and everybody feels that they can say what they want in the street.
Yeah.
Does that mean that you have to be rich to have that? Some people might say, "Oh, well, this freedom stuff is just these rich countries' invention." We don't believe that. The question then becomes, how do you show people that there's value here, even amidst their circumstances? And then what happens once you start getting into that discussion is you'll immediately get into the politics of it all.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then different people will have their different interpretations, and then they'll tie it back to some vested interest, and then it becomes lost in the muddle. So I like to take it back again to, this is our faith.
Yeah.
Lots of different opinions will happen. Many
Mhm.
of them are valid. Some of them will not be. But we compare it to the question of what we believe as our core founding conceptual premise in this country. You cannot impose freedom on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's a contradiction in terms. You need to show that your own case where you live this way is viable and competent, which is why this debt ceiling thing has me particularly upset, because why wouldn't people say, oh, you have all this, you have all of what you call democracy and freedom, you can't manage yourself. What does that say?
Yeah.
So it's very important to me that we manage this properly. It's also important to me that we get beyond the polarized political discourse we have, because I think that's a lot of what impedes our ability to govern well.
Mm-hmm.
And as it happens, I think that the first step to do that is to remind everybody that that all their arguments and all their differences, they're still citing one way or another the same principle.
Right.
So it's very important to me that we remind people that that's something they share, even if they don't think they share anything.
Nice.
Absolutely. I do want to ask a question, because
Yeah.
I think as a
Let me have it.
as a kind of a culture, right? It's kind of moving to a certain direction here in the U.S. For example, at work, it got couple years ago, I am a person that likes to talk and just hear other people's opinion, but I can hear at workplace, people would take me to the side and be like, don't talk politics.
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk politics.
Mhm.
At the same time, knowing that the person I'm discussing it with, we're both having a very valuable conversation. I'm learning about point of views, and I think it's very healthy,
Mhm.
right? Not necessarily toxic. But I do want to know, like, politics today, like that became such a sensitive thing that it's kind of, we're becoming muted in workplace and different
Yeah.
places to not talk. It became super sensitive, and I feel like it upsets me
Mhm.
that it's this way, because we live
Mhm.
these decisions, and the people that makes these decisions, and they decide on so many points and so many things that we live it daily.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for a younger generation to be more open to have these conversations, without it going, are you a Democrat or Republican, or going straight to that,
Mm-hmm.
are you blue or red, or how can we, I don't know, how
Can we
can I,
diffuse that a little bit?
yeah, and
Yes.
kind of make it,
Back
people-
to be natural, basically.
people
like,
can
it's
approach it in a way where, how can today's generation think about politics? How can we
Mhm.
rewire
Right.
that thought?
Well, that's the $1 million question. How do you actually do it? You'll see any number. Actually, a lot of people write ideas about how to do this. There's one book that said, "Oh, we should have rank order voting elections."
Mhm.
There's another one that I just finished a book that's very vehement that it's all about teaching civics starting at the elementary school level. Lots and lots of people are perplexed and want to find ways to do it and have devised things. My concern is that for all the argument,
Mhm.
there's so little awareness and so little mindfulness of that common creed underneath all of them. And almost all of them,
Mhm.
almost all the political positions, not all, but almost all, eventually come back to somebody feels that somebody's rights are being abused.
Mhm.
Right.
Now, obviously, anybody might feel that some right of their, in a country of 330 million individuals,
Yeah, that's a lot
Lord
of
knows what it's going to
opinions.
be that somebody's going
Right.
to want. But there is, I think, a reasonable way of seeing when it's serious and when it isn't,
Mhm.
if you will. And the trick is to make sure that, well, for me, the starting point, the only thing I could think of is to start by reminding everybody, here's the common creed that we have. And then I'm actually trying to put together a book that says, and remember, there's twists and turns to the idea. It doesn't mean you can, as I said, you can't turn yourself into a cloud. You have to deal with real
Right.
life.
Mhm.
It is abstract, so we have to recognize that nobody's going to prove anything, but we have to validate it. There's a lot of understanding that we have to do, but at the core is this principle. And the first step is for people to see that, so that they recognize that that we're still one country, even if you think
Mhm.
you're really diametrically opposed to each other. 99.9% of those people are still at the bottom, believing in personal rights, and the government supports those rights.
Right.
That's the first thing. Then you get into the technique of
Yeah.
how do you get people in a place where they can accept somebody else saying something
Mhm.
that runs against what they've been saying. That's very hard. You both came to one of our sessions of our new effort in Pittsburgh.
It was really,
Part of the goal is it's so much of the intangible. Part of the goal is to set an atmosphere where people are comfortable,
yeah.
where people hear each other talk and don't jump on each other. And then how do you keep that going? It's a very hands-on, practical kind of thing. And there are lots of people who have ways of doing it.
Yeah.
My wish is that more and more people would find those spaces, encourage those spaces,
Yep.
orient it to the fact that we have a common premise to this country.
Yes. And I think from just being at that discussion, it was really refreshing how many younger people we saw there.
I
They
was
were
shocked, honestly.
talking. Me too. We were just kind of, every time somebody talks, we would like look to see like across, and it's somebody very young, and the people that they felt they can ask the questions they wanted to ask, and they felt they can give their thoughts and idea and give feedback, and kind of like a no judgment zone. It felt like we liked it. It was nice to the point towards the end. Me and Shally, we looked at each other and were like, we need to come to the next one because this is very
I was
nice.
shocked because at my age, even people at my age, and I'm like in the 30s now, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And even people at my age still think that, oh, you're into politics. No, politics is still back to you being human and living, because you live in a system, you live in a country, you live in like around people who have opinions, you live somewhere where there is rules and you have to follow. So you have to get yourself to listen to the most updated news.
Mhm.
What's the rules is there. So a lot of people my age even don't even care about this. Like they're so busy somewhere else, when at least part of your day you should read the news.
Mhm.
You
Or
know,
they
read-
want to be
read
away from
something.
it because
Know
they
what's
don't
going
wanna,
on around the world, right? So basically seeing even people at like Ahmed age, who's now like basically in the 20s, right? He's there, he's asking questions, and it's deep questions about even a conflict that I've never heard of politically.
Yeah.
I was so shocked. I was so proud, and I was like, this need to happen in a wider maybe range or more often, because we need to educate ourselves and the new generation about what's going on. It's not just about fun and TikToks.
Well, for starters, you're doing this, and I'm really, again, thank
Yeah.
you for having me for this, because this is it's
Thanks
every
for
little
accepting our invite.
it's
Really,
every
we
little
appreciate
thing
it.
that any person does, and you never know. The world has gotten, all these means of communication mean that so many people have a voice that can be heard somewhere that 100 years ago they didn't have. And that means
Yeah.
that all kinds of people now say, oh, well, I could say this, So the world has gotten much more complex. It's become harder and harder to channel
Yeah.
these things. On the one hand, that then means that people are vulnerable to being pulled into factions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it means that more people are there putting it out. And over time, perhaps if we create these places where real exchange can happen, that people will develop of their own momentum. So that's the goal. And you never know where it comes from. My little comment that I put somewhere in something was, they say that if a butterfly flutters its wings in the Himalayas, that could mean that there's a rainstorm in Kansas next week.
The butterfly
Yeah.
effect.
Right.
Yeah.
That quite likely applies
Mhm.
in my mind.
True.
I mean, if you get into quantum physics and the Big Bang Theory, if I think something, that maybe alters all these quanta out there, and
Yeah.
maybe something happens in existence that we'll never know any more than the butterfly knows that he caused a storm in Kansas.
Yeah.
So
whenever which you answered my question really, really well, but I think
Yeah.
a lot of people also avoid it
yes,
because maybe they don't have a really good knowledge about it, right?
Yes.
Which that's, I think, the basis of it. But whenever you go on Facebook, they have a very loud voice of just
yes,
putting these comments. And I mean, I personally feel like I can say things online that I don't think I can say face to face to somebody. And I count myself as somebody that's really vocal.
yes.
But I feel like there's certain things we can it's easier to say when you're behind your phone than it's face to face. But I think a lot of people are kind of getting pulled from just reading the tweets and reading the comments, and then they choose a side.
Yes.
And that I feel like that shouldn't be the influence on what side they should go with. Because I think it's harmful.
Technology and the internet communications networks have posed a huge problem.
Yeah.
Every way that anybody ever thought of sharing opinions,
Yeah.
which were themselves not perfect, but any way that anybody ever had to do it in what was considered an orderly way has been blown up.
Mm-hmm.
And in historical scale has been blown up very suddenly. I mean, call it 10, 15 years. That's very fast. And the degree to which people have access and are confronted with huge masses of opinions that they have no idea what's behind them. It's a very, very new thing in human experience, and it's new for everybody in the world. So, I have no answers except to say my attempt is to say, in this country we have this thing. Remember, you really do believe this, and let's find ways, find good settings to actually talk.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult because very many people who think something like that will then say, and you should be out there doing da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then all of a sudden you have another political argument. And then the left and the right will say, well, that means this. And then the other side will say, no, it means that. And then you're back to square one.
Yeah.
So it's very, very tricky.
I feel like there is, and especially because of there's a lot of channels and there's a lot of stuff in the media, a lot of people who probably, you don't know their background or what their opinion or what they are meaning to say, basically, they now are treated as a source of information, which should not be, right? So we are so confused when it comes to where I get the source, like the right information. Where do I get it from? And that's something else that really affects our generation, how we think.
Yes.
And I think that's how we become so opinionated about everything. Like, no, this is not black. This is going to be green. And she will say it's black. And I'll say, no, I say it's green, right? Even about this, we'll argue in the internet. And because of this social media, and I don't know if like we should have some more regulation on it or we should have some law when it comes to who become a source and who's not and verify it way better. But that make our generation really lost, not like yours and my dad generation, who are like, they have an idea. Again, they go back to the common stuff that they can gather people with, and instead of bringing up stuff that will put people in different directions.
It's very difficult. One of my, I don't want to call it a rule, but one of the things I wish is that more people who know something would share what they know, and at the same time recognize that they only know what they know. And it's very, very difficult because everything relates to everything else. So if I know that a default would mess up what we call the risk-free rate in finance, I might say that, and I might say that means that you risk the whole economy locking up because nobody knows how to price anything.
Right.
But then for me to then say, well, the Democrats should do this and the Republicans should do that, is not what I know.
Absolutely.
And so that's one of those lines, but it's very hard. It's very tempting. And there's always that little, well, what if I said, well, we should cut spending, but we should raise the match. Then you're right back into the mess. Yeah.
Because when I hear people say all the time, since this person's in the office, XYZ going to happen. But if that person was in office, this would never happen.
Right.
And it kind of defaulted into these like certain things, which I don't even know how it came to that point. But I believe that's what making it really hard for people to get into politics, because they think they already know how things run, and they have these default things that, and it's.
Well, current politics, which has two sides, that then turn everything into a question of their side versus the other side. There's a great book called The Politics Industry by Michael Porter and Catherine Gell. Michael Porter is a Harvard Business School professor, and Ms. Gell, I think, was the CEO of a company, and they analyzed politics from a business perspective, and they point out that these two parties are actually just there to keep their own market share. They say they want to win, and they contest, and they win, but their real goal is to keep their support networks intact and strong, and that means that, well, lots of analyses, what they do with their money, where they orient their messages, why they do what they do, and they are self-perpetuating machines, more interested in themselves, in their own self-preservation and promotion than anything else. And you notice I can say that without pronouncing on any of the opinions that any of them have, which was a great part of their book, was they get to explain it that way. How you undo that, what we've ended up with as a result is you have, everybody says you're left or you're right,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe you're somewhere in between, or maybe you're a crazy and you're further out left than the left or further out right than the right. But if you notice, the expression is all on one line,
Mm-hmm.
and it's defined by these two notional points.
True.
But the world is actually four-dimensional. It's not all on one line. These two groups have managed to dominate the public discourse in a way that nobody thinks of it except as you're either one or the other, or some mix, or some extreme.
And I think like exactly
That is
what you
so
said.
true.
Yeah. Like now thinking about it, I think as long as like this side is making problem with that side, this side is alive and this side will stay alive also. Doesn't
Yes.
matter. So they keep each other alive even though they are like disagreeing with everything or acting like they're disagreeing with
I
everything.
100%
And it's
agree.
like a distraction. We can't think of anything else but
Right.
that
Right.
line.
I 100% agree. They have an interest in each other being there to fight against.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. It's a,
So again, the hope is that we can say, well, whatever they say, these two sides, there's an underlying thing
Yeah.
that we hold in common.
True.
And that should open more people to think in terms of the whole 3 and 4 dimensions and not just the line
Yeah.
defined by these 2 points. How does that happen? I have no idea.
Right.
You only flap your butterfly wings and
Yeah.
try to do what you can do.
Absolutely. We're just each one of us has to kind of.
Mhm.
We hope we'll be the butterfly today episode. It will be like a little bit of a
butterfly.
windy
Yes.
somewhere
Thank you.
else.
Mhm.
Do you have any more questions for him?
I do want to. I know you have your book coming up, which is.
Well, I'm trying to
I
finish
keep
it.
saying it's coming up, and I need to stop saying
Mhm.
that, which is going to be the common conviction, right?
That's the working title that I have.
Yes.
Mhm.
And when do you think? What is your book will be about?
It's basically presenting this idea.
Mm-hmm.
And the tack that I take is 1, the principle, as I've said to you.
Mm-hmm.
2, walking through some of those nuances, like it's abstract, it's faith, so that everybody understands. 3, taking some of the expressions that we throw around, like democracy. Well, what do we really mean when we're talking about democracy?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And recasting it in terms of the Declaration itself. Then this thing has to work in life as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no way I could actually say it, but I take a couple of cases where I've worked and say, you could imagine maybe running foreign policy this way.
Mm-hmm.
You could imagine maybe financial people using this standard in this way. Not to say that you should do what I'm saying, but to say
just
that there's
given
a
a
thing you
scenario,
can
basically.
picture so you
Yeah.
can actually apply this thing.
That's nice.
That is nice.
And so the idea is that it's an idea, it can work, can make real life. And by the way, it does all kinds of things for us if we make it work right. And
Do you have like a rough date to when your book will be maybe finished and then released?
well, I will try to put it to publishers next quarter.
Nice.
Oh, that's exciting.
That's
Well,
Finger crossed.
fingers crossed, and much, much work. I mean, people who really are writers say that you live for your rejections.
No.
So a few words to kind of, what will you, just to give certain advice to today's generation of what is your call to action for younger people when we think about politics, when we think about,
Mhm.
just, what do you call it, policy,
Right.
foreign policy.
I am very hesitant to make my call to action because then it's about me.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
And I'm hoping people will just be willing to listen to say, this is what we are. And there are ways that it works. Very much, I'd like to have discussions like this with
Mhm.
many, many people. Just like this.
Yeah,
We're
there's
privileged, not
no
everyone is.
tension. We
I'm
just want to
privileged.
learn.
I'm so glad that you're willing to talk to me like this. I mean,
No,
This is
Absolutely.
this is very refreshing, and I feel like our generation is coming more like we're so tensioned and so angry all the time, and I think we just need to loosen up a little bit and just understand
Mhm.
the fundamentals of everything, because we think we know a lot, but we don't. We just know a little bit, right?
Right.
Just the tip of the iceberg.
And to give more people more information and more background is another whole huge problem. But it starts with whoever whoever is head. Our speaker that you came and saw, Ali
Yes, Ali
Wine,
Wine.
I particularly was glad to have him because he has a different take. He said, okay, he's a grand strategist.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
title is geopolitical macro strategy officer, whatever, at Eurasia Group. I mean, it doesn't get any grander strategy than that.
Right.
His whole thing was, everybody talks about great power competition. Let's review what we're competing for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was such a good point.
Why are we competing with these two countries?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does that tell us how to, he says, let's back up and think about that. And he says, what is America's affirmative purpose? And I think we were into that when you were there. So.
Yeah, it was amazing. No,
Yeah.
I was so glad that I got his book too.
We
But
got his book.
But if you find people who have a different take, and even if it's not as favorable to what I want as him, but the more different, well thought out takes that you
So
get.
what do you call the discussions that you're doing currently?
Well,
Does it have is it like a committee that has a name?
we have created, my friend Jonathan Hill has appropriated the name on the internet and with whoever you register with the Pittsburgh Committee on Foreign Relations.
Okay.
We have both been active in an umbrella group called the American Committees on Foreign Relations.
Mhm.
And there's a long history to that, but hopefully this becomes a chapter of that. Now, each of these committees, and other groups like it, all have their own way of organizing. We're hoping to have a combination of informed presentations, such as Ali Wine, such as the gentleman before him a couple months ago, who talked about training troops in Ukraine.
Yes.
And others. And then we hope to also have that integrated with real discussion among people, possibly with discussion groups.
And
we'll
it's
see.
currently for free, right? People can join currently.
Currently, we're inviting people to come, and we're hoping that it turns into something that can become an organization that has funding, resources, and support.
We'll list more information in the bottom of the episode so people can maybe take advantage of it if they're in the region, Pittsburgh, in here.
There is a Pittsburgh Committee on Foreign Relations site. I think it's cfrpgh.org. But if you Google Pittsburgh Committee on Foreign Relations.
Yeah, we'll try to put the link and some information.
Because I feel like a lot of people need to know about this because it's just such a good thing, and it's very unusual to see things like that happen. So if because I started telling people at work about it, I'm like, this thing exists, and like, oh, like that's different. It's not like a.
Well, we are just now organizing it. That was the second event. We're doing it ad hoc to see if we can get people to come. And we're trying now to start figuring out how to turn it into an organization with all the risks that it turns into something, all the things you have to do when you're building something. Yes.
We hope this,
Well, you'll hear from us.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we will. I guess.
I don't have any more questions currently, but probably definitely in the future.
Do you have any questions for us or anything?
Oh, geez. I've been talking so much. But no, I was so glad to see you at that.
Did you like the tea? That's a question I did not ask you.
I love the tea. Yes.
There's a lot of honey,
much.
I know.
Thank you very much. How did you get the idea to do this?
It was hers initially, yeah.
Okay.
And me and Baha and everyone here, Ahmed too, we're trying to help as much as we can.
We have a lot of tea time at home.
Okay.
Like in the afternoon, like after lunch, I think between 5 and 7.
We do it multiple times a day. We can do it
but the one that we all gather.
Usually,
my parents.
Between 5 and 10.
So we always have tea time at home.
Right, Baha?
Okay.
Always.
5 to 10.
Yeah, and through us having tea, we get into deep topics and we talk about different things, and we realize that tea really brings us together.
That's a wonderful
inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we decided to call it PodcastTea, so that way we can drink tea and just make this more as an actual podcast, because a lot of things we talk about, you have a really good conversation, you go like, oh, if we recorded this, or what did we say, and there's a lot of great ideas, but we just decided to kind of kick it as a real podcast and just talk about things that really matters.
Well, that's as good a stab at any at diffusing some of this as having people talk, having people see people talk.
True. Yeah.
Right. I agree.
Like
with
I'm
that.
someone who's usually like don't like cameras. I don't want to
Mhm.
be on somewhere on show, but she kind of like pushed me towards it more.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we need to be out there. We need
yeah,
to
when
at
there's
least
no
put it
camera,
out.
I talk more freely. I encourage myself more to be open and talk
Right.
and everything. But when I see camera, I'm like, you know,
Mhm.
I get a little bit scared. But
Well, there's a time and a place too.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you may want a setting where you can say to people who you already know all kinds of things to see
True.
what how it goes, and
yeah.
you might not want to share that with everybody.
True.
know.
No.
Yeah. So I guess we answered a lot of questions that I think you summarized it very well with great answers here. And but hopefully through our hopefully coming up discussions, and if there is an opportunity to have you on another podcast episode, would love to have you
Love to.
back.
You're gonna be more than welcome, of course, to be here.
Yes.
Thank
Well,
you so much,
With
George.
this tea. Thank you.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Thank
Thanks,
you
guys,
for coming up.
for running this. This is wonderful.
Uh,
This is a good
guys,
space. Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, share, and subscribe, please, with your friends and family if you're interested. Follow us on a lot of the social media we have. We're on Apple and Spotify and YouTube, and hopefully
We're trying to
a
be
couple
everywhere.
more. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you for watching. Thank you so much.
Thank you
guys.
so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. That was really great. Thanks. That was really fun.